All right, we're recording. I wanted to start this off with like an official intro, but this is just too good to not do. Let's see. So Austin is having trouble joining, and I'm going to try to FaceTime him and see if we can help him. Hey, man.
Yes, I'm in a really bad fucking
mood. Can we help you? Just show me what you're looking at.
I kind of don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, come on, man. We've planned for this for a month. It's just going to take a little while. It's fine. Okay, let's turn it sideways.
Sideways?
Yeah, just the phone. Turn the phone sideways. Oh, use the other camera maybe?
He might need to turn the screen flip
yeah,
off.
You got you. What is like over your screen?
The lid.
The lid. Firmly grasp it in your hand.
What?
Firmly grasp it. Okay. See detailed instructions.
He might need to bite the bullet and get Chrome.
Just get Google Chrome. Oh, you have? You fuck. You've been holding out on us.
Are we signing into Google?
Oh, let's show him. What's his password? Papa Roach Rocker.
No, goddammit.
What's wrong?
He doesn't know his password to his Gmail.
What's his email? Papa
Roach Rocker.
It's a classic.
You don't know the password to your Gmail.
What'd he do?
He copied the password and it was the wrong password. Just forgot password.
This is unbelievable.
So let's keep.
What
in
a
mind
fantastic start!
If you ever want your first ever podcast to go off without a hitch, just
you
give
do
up.
a test first.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Come on. Come on. Well,
we made it.
That I think is the best.
Wait, we can't hear him.
Start.
We can't hear him.
Oh no, we can't hear him.
Hello?
Oh, there
he is.
I may have misplaced my AirPods.
Oh my god.
Wait, we could talk about that. Hold on. I can talk about the air. Okay. Let me just start this thing off.
Okay.
Wait, do I jack off now or in a minute?
In a minute. All right. So, hello and welcome to Baes. This is a little experiment that me, Ryan, and you'll meet the other few in a minute, are going to have. We're going to start this little podcast and see how this goes. So I'm Ryan.
I'm
Tom.
And I'm Philip.
Okay. That's Austin.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the AirPods. Tom, how did this happen to you?
So, the last time I remember using them was when I spoke with Austin on the phone last week. Every week I go to bar trivia on Thursday nights, and Austin, being a trivia fanatic like myself, I like to share what I remember from that night's trivia with him. So we talk pretty regularly on that. and that's the last time I remember using those AirPods. So for the first time ever, I, for some reason, absentmindedly didn't put them right back into the charger case
There's a
thing
mistake.
right when I
There's a
was done
mistake.
using them.
There it is.
And now I don't know where they are.
Yeah. So you just can't ever like take them out and not put them in the case. You're
No.
screwed as
This
soon as
should
that
never happen. This should never happen.
Yeah,
Tom.
that's
Yeah,
scary.
well, exactly.
That's scary.
That's what I discovered, was the case when I tried to set up my sound for this and didn't have that option for.
So where were you talking to Austin on the phone?
I was in my apartment,
Oh,
so they're here somewhere.
You think they're somewhere in your apartment? Do you have a Roomba?
No, I don't have a Roomba. I have a
What is it? What is it? 2009?
People have Roombas still.
yeah, they're definitely still big. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact,
I could have
bet
won
you
one
there's
at the
more
Christmas
sold.
party for my company this past year.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's too bad you didn't.
the guy whose job I took the prior year. Oh no,
This fucking kid.
where'd he go?
I don't know.
He'll come back.
He's back. We're good.
Oh, there he is.
Like,
All
just-
right.
How high is his ping? How high is your ping, Austin?
Yeah, Austin, how high is your ping, man?
I don't know.
We've been playing Rocket League with her, and Austin every night at like 1 a.m. or something like that. It's just like he goes to block a goal and then it's teleported across the map. And he's just like, guys, I'm lagging. And then for the next 10 games, he's useless. Just like
It has a distinct time that
it seems like
starts
it seems
crapping
like
out.
at some point in the day his internet is just like taking a dive bomb.
Oh man.
Yeah, but anyway, so I thought so. I asked everyone to just kind of think of some topics throughout the week and just write them down so that we could talk about them together. And I thought a good way to kind of kick this off. Actually, we happen to talk about the AirPods, but to kick this off, I figured we could tell the story about how we met and then kind of how we ended up calling each other the baes, so that people will understand the reference. So we all met at different times, and we should tell the parts of the stories from like our perspectives, basically. But I believe Tom and I were the first ones to have met. Yeah. And so we met through a mutual friend, which we won't get into a ton of background on that one friend.
Let's get into it. Let's do it.
Maybe later. Maybe that's when we should save, I think. But freshman year, like the first night we were at college, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And we went to like some.
It was the free thing event. Everything was free, but it all sucked.
Yes. They had nachos that were awful.
Yeah, the nachos were like the saddest thing I'd ever seen. And I think they just had like basically like jar salsa that they were serving. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was miserable. Right. Yeah, so we decided that it sucked.
Hey, salsa is good though. I'm just being facetious. Keep talking.
Yeah, so from there, I would say that we kind of like exchanged phone numbers like any new friends would. And I don't know. We lived on opposite sides of campus basically.
Yep.
You were in Wildwood Hall, and
yeah, we went to Florida State. And I was in Wildwood Hall. Go ahead.
And I was in Landis, the honors dorm, because
the honors dorm.
No,
I'm so honorable.
So prestigious.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'd make our, take turns making treks across campus to play video games, or we would toss the old frisbee around.
And there may have been some drinking of some sort of juices before we were 21, but
Oh, like Sunny D?
yes, exactly. We drank a lot of Sunny
I
D.
prefer Capri Sun personally.
Yeah, I would say like freshman year, we wouldn't hang out that much during the week, but on the weekend we would like get together and have some fun.
That was our thing. We'd always hit up the Student Life Cinema on campus.
Oh yeah,
catch a free film. They had some pretty cool stuff going on over there. Or we'd hit up George's.
Yeah.
Off campus. I miss George.
Yeah, we should see how he's doing sometime. But then I think where our friendship really blossomed was sophomore year when we lived together.
Yeah, that was a good time. We had all these I don't know. I think we developed the most like inside jokes from that
for sure
time period, and the most like memorable moments. We both kind of had like that like insomniac kind of.
Yeah, we'd stay up till like 4 a.m. playing Super Meat Boy or something.
Super Meat Boy, or we had that game with like the rubber coasters.
Oh, we used to get I don't know. Do you guys know about this?
No.
We used to get this big plastic bowl that we had in our apartment, and we'd alternate setting it a certain place, and then you'd have to throw these like coasters for drinks into the big plastic bowl. And so you'd throw it kind of like a frisbee and it would curve around, and we got really good at throwing coasters across the room.
Yeah, it was almost like a game of horse because we'd challenge each other to make the shot in like a weird spot. We even had like these bar stools that are in our like kitchen area, and there was little like slats coming across it. And at one time we even had to throw it between the slats to get it in the bowl.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely riveting.
And then sophomore year, I believe, is when we first crossed paths with Austin.
Got our first taste.
Ooh, what a taste it was.
Austin and I shared an economics class together. And we sat together and learned a lot about supply and demand.
It's because I was friends with whose twin sister Tom was dating. So it was like, oh, you should talk to like my sister's boyfriend. He's in your economics class. And I was like, okay. Then naturally we're both awkward as fuck. So so it just took a while to have that friendship blossom. But then at the end of the day, none of those people are here anymore, but we're still here undefeated.
That's true. The baes going strong.
FSU. But anyway, that's how I met Tom.
And then I think the first time I met you, Austin, was at our apartment, and you and Tom were, and I like walked out in the living room, and we said like, I don't know, 5 words to each other, and then I didn't see you for like a year. do you remember that?
I remember like meeting in the dorm, and like I remember something about meeting Chris and like her talking about she was going out with like some guy.
Hold on. Say that again. Sorry, I accidentally muted you for a second there.
I shouldn't be using full names, should I?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Also, we have too many friends have the same fucking name, so I mean,
we do have quite a few of those for sure.
Well, I just remember like her being like, I don't even remember that. I just remember hanging out with Tom, like came over to play Madden or something. I remember you were she was going to a party with you, and I heard about you. I'm like, oh, I wonder what this kid's like. And then she came back crying, and I'm like, oh, he must be a jerk. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, she just cries about everything, which I learned later.
All right, I'm going to have to bleep out her name, I think. That's fine. I can do that.
This isn't the first time. I don't know what I'm doing, so you'll have to forgive me.
It's okay. And her address is...
Does anybody
Okay.
know? Serious, I'm just asking for a friend.
Well, honestly, it's just so difficult because everyone's like has such a similar name. Even when they don't, I'm in the mindset of like I have to distinguish between the two Ryans or the.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, yeah. I think bleeping out will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. I'll figure
Whatever comes out naturally, we'll just fix it later.
Okay. So, who met Ryan Mercer first? Was it Tom and I at that
That'd
party?
be me.
Well, I had to have met Tom through classes.
Yeah, through classes, but I mean like outside of classes. Like
Was Tom at that party?
Yeah, I was there. I
Oh,
was on the
okay.
floor.
So we met you
Okay.
at the same time then.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So what?
I was like, what?
I don't even know what that party was for.
What is Paul Rudd doing at this party?
Yeah, so I had a best friend in college who had a townhouse next to a bunch of friends that they had, and one night they just happened to both be having a party next to each other. I was at one, and everyone was kind of drunk. I wasn't. I walked over to the party next to ours and was like, "Hey, I'm running to Hungry Howie's. Do you guys want pizza?"
Yes. Yes. So you're
And,
instantly the most popular guy at the
I
party.
think I was there.
Were you?
I think I was there too.
Oh, then heck yeah, I met all three of you guys at the same time. And
Wait,
like,
was that at Tiana's place?
no,
No.
it was at like Yuli's and Morgan's.
Okay, first name.
What was it?
I'm gonna have to just cut out like minutes of
That-
these.
That was first name.
I know.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
okay.
All right, keep going. So you ask if we want Hungry Howie's.
Yep, a few people took up the offer. I think I came back with like 5 pizzas total for the 2 parties of like, I think it was 15 people total. We really crushed it. And
I feel like it was a little more, but maybe not. Go ahead.
okay. And then so I come back and then I probably wouldn't have made the connection with you guys that night if this other scenario didn't happen. Girl crying on the floor. I walk in. I think it was Emma.
Yep.
That was like, hey, she's looking for a boyfriend. And I was like, oh, no way. I'm looking for a girlfriend. So I ended up getting her number that night. Shouldn't have. She was not in the state that I should have accepted a phone number, even though it wasn't from her. And then that started, and that's how I kind of got
To a
connected
relationship.
with the
Wait.
group. Yeah.
Is this crying girl who I think it is?
Yes.
Same crying girl that you had mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
Looking back on it though, wasn't that like a red flag? I was like,
You
I think it
know,
was more like a target, honestly.
Ryan, I don't remember if it was that night or a night very similar, but we were getting back from a party. I think you were there, and we were like in the parking garage, and there was this girl on the ground crying, speaking French.
Yes.
She was
I
like
do
crying
remember
out for help to us. She's like, Monsieur.
I do remember.
in
I helped her
Tallahassee.
walk up to her apartment. Yes. I do remember that. That was a separate instance, I think.
Yeah.
But I was DB that night, actually. So I had to like help her, and she was just like so gone. Just like, Monsieur, Monsieur. But yeah, that was funny. So then eventually all the great powers that be combined, we became one, just inseparable, connected, tip to tip friends.
With a
And I
1-to-1 ratio.
believe- Yes, we'll get into that at some point.
Let's not.
And I believe that at some point, baes started out as just like a joke because it was like a popular reference at the time. It was like in songs, and like everybody would call like usually their significant other or somebody like that they were dating bae. And so we all had a bromance. So we started calling each other the baes. And I I think what really cemented the legacy of the baes is something I have right here. Which
Are you
I don't know if you
Are you just drinking straight water out of that right now?
Yeah.
That's vodka.
It's beer vodka. But this says Bay Ryan. Austin was just a doll and got this for all of us.
Yeah. Certainly the sentimental type. Austin will never miss an opportunity to pay a visit to Things Remembered store and hook us all up with something personalized and meaningful.
I can't tell if that was like a subtle like dig at me or you were being genuine.
I don't know either. I just kind of let the whole thing ride as I
I like it. I appreciate it, man.
I'm never going into that store ever again.
I was gonna make a Missy reference because I know that she worked there, but yeah.
Why do we keep bringing it?
I don't know.
Okay, so I think we've accomplished the objective of framing who we are, how we met, what the bays are. Anybody else have a topic that they'd like to bring up here? Usually it'd be natural conversation flow, but I just wanted to get past the name dropping of 500.
All right, let's start off with the Roe v. Wade because four guys. Because what four guys should be talking about is abortion rights. Let's go.
For sure.
I'm just saying that.
Anything else at all? Anything else?
I got one. So before I start, has everyone seen the Avengers? Do they not care about seeing the?
I've not seen the Avengers. Don't tell me.
You really care.
Ooh.
I mean, I guess you can tell me. I don't care that much.
Mercer?
I haven't seen it, but it's fair game at this point.
Oh, okay.
Well, then it's just like two people talking about. we can do it, I guess.
I think the premise, you guys will get it, and it's fine.
We can explain,
I'll explain.
If you guys really don't care.
I'll explain what's relevant for my question.
Okay.
So, wait. Also, so everyone knows like The Purge, then too, right?
What?
I haven't seen it, but
The movie
spoilers
The
are
Purge.
fine at this point.
Okay, I'll describe the premises of both movies then. Fine.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, Tom.
Now we're
I've
just
centered
review.
I've centered the camera on you, Tom. So please go have at it.
Okay, so I'll start with the Avengers: Infinity War. The main nemesis in the film, his name is Thanos.
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 All right, off to a good start. Let's go.
Whatever his name is. His objective throughout the film is to be able to collect these stones or whatever, the Infinity Stones, so that he can basically eradicate half of the population of the entire universe. Because he thinks that overpopulation is a problem, and he thinks that it can be solved by just wiping out half the people consuming resources. It's completely non-discriminatory. It destroys half of the people. Doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are, race. It doesn't look at any of that. Does not care. It's just going to take out 1 out of every 2 people. Whatever. That's cool. That's his solution. Then The Purge, you see, they have more of like it's more restricted to America, but the concept is basically for 1 night a year, all crime is legal, and it's in like a dystopian future where America's crime rates are like super low year round. The economy is like booming. Everything's great because 1 night a year, people go out and kill each other. A lot of social problems are brought up throughout the film. Most of it, especially in the later movies, is centered around how it actually is very discriminatory because some particular races are in less good economic situations and can't afford to defend themselves on nights like this, where people are running out, dragging people into the streets and just slaughtering them. So it almost looks at it as if like the world is better off without some of the less, some of the social outcasts and like
Right.
the less well-off social people. So if Hitler were alive today, who do you think he'd agree with more?
Oh, okay.
Before we discuss this topic, I just want to say that there's no proof that Hitler's dead.
No, there is. I saw
literally just yesterday.
Yeah, on Reddit.
a true source, yes.
Okay. Well, so Hitler really was strongly about one race to rule them all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Hitler would like the pure chance that Thano brings. However, the purge also is fairly random in that it's just you go out and kill whoever you want. It's legal for that time. I think what Hitler would try to do is institute the purge, but only for the Aryan race, where they can do whatever they want. Everyone else still has to follow every single rule, or just let them kill them.
Okay. Just so you know, I really won't be offended if you cut this entire part out, so that it doesn't look like it's taken out of context as you just like talking about Hitler's ideas.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good argument. Also, I feel like Ryan's about ready to serenade us with a song with his like microphone. He's just like ready to bust out like, "It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you."
That's for later.
Just so you know, pretty much every time we do this, I'm gonna have a question that starts off with, "If Hitler were alive today."
It'll be a recurring segment.
Yeah.
That's good.
See, my topics are nowhere near as like philosophical and like thought-provoking as that.
A little more tape. I'm okay with that.
Let's mix it up.
Okay. I'll throw a little lighter topic.
We have to eventually circle back to Hitler, though, just so you know.
Let me think on it, because it is so deep that I need to really. I might need to sleep on it for a couple days, to be honest. So I'm sitting in Starbucks the other day. I'm studying, and like they had just recently renovated it, all new furniture, all new everything, whatever. I'm sitting in the most uncomfortable chair I've ever sat in, but they tried to correct it by just putting ass indents in the bottom of it.
Oh.
And like does that actually make a chair more comfortable?
I don't think so.
Like, what are ass indents gonna do for you? It limits you. It limits you that you have to sit one way on a chair. Which like
also,
sometimes I like to like.
I feel like my ass cheeks are a much different size and shape than your ass cheeks.
I think everything needs memory foam. That's the only way to be.
Did Tiana just shout from the room that she agrees?
No, I think you found the AirPods, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Where were they?
Oh, we found the AirPods. Yay.
Lisa, maybe they're in these pockets. I just went through every drawer and like refolded everything to try and check.
Well, thank you.
Tiana to the rescue.
He's the best. Tiana's the MVP of the day.
So I just think there's not a one size fit all ass indent that you can put into a chair. So why even do it?
That's why you get memory foam. I'm just
like don't have an indent.
Yeah, I know. Just make it a normal chair. Why are we trying to advance things so far that they're like pushing?
That's, Google might have that AI that can call a salon and make an appointment for you, and it sounds like a human. But really, I think where science has gone too far is with butt implants and chairs.
I could not agree more.
But why not just stand? That's
all the time.
That's the way that we're trending. Yeah, I think we all have to start just standing all the time.
I'm leaning more towards like I want Wall-E to be here already.
Oh, just the fucking here. This is what
it improves blood flow. Standing desk. That whole trend. I think we're headed to a world without chairs. I think they're becoming obsolete, Ryan.
So why are they advancing them so quickly as to just throw ass indents on them?
It's a niche market, and I think that with sales down, they have to try to really push some weird new ideas.
I could see that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
I don't know. I was just thinking I told this to Tom, I think, the other day. I don't think you were there, Ryan, but I had this thought. Well, actually, I was spawned by a post I saw about how what makes up who you are as a person, like how you define you as a human, like as an individual, like how you think of yourself. There really is no wide concept of what constitutes you as a human being, because every person you ever meet and come in contact with has a different impression of you. So somebody that you've wronged, like someone that you were rude to or someone that you cheated on or something, is going to hate you and think of you as being this horrible person. But then somebody else might think you're the best person ever. So this idea of who are you, it's hard to pin down because it's all subjective. Like who you think you are is only based on your own mind. It's not based on you can't subjectively say this is who I am. No, it's not true. These are my sober thoughts.
Well, that's an interesting concept, because I mean, well, I think there's who you are and then the perspective of what a person thinks you are. Does that make sense?
But you would have to accept, when you think of I think of myself as being this way. If you're going to define what does it mean to be Tom Morrissey, it depends on how you look at it, because
you probably have the same perception as other people of yourself, not the same one, but you also have a perception of what yourself is, and it's probably not objectively what you are.
Right, I'm saying it's impossible to objectively know what you are, because I don't think who you are can be just defined as who you think you are. I think who you are is a combination of what you think you are and what everyone else you come in contact thinks you are, but you'll never know that. So the idea of what is the self is just evasive.
I like it. I think it's...
What is the self?
So, but I think that's not a huge existential crisis that one should be having, because I think it's more of an opportunity, because it gives you a chance to change who you are and change people's perceptions of you. True. You're not defined by what someone writes down about you somewhere. That's not what you always will be, because you can make yourself something else.
Well said.
Deep.
Well said.
All right. Well,
my other topic I wanted to discuss is what other celebrity guests we're going to get, because obviously this week we have Paul Rudd, but then next
Paul
week
Rudd's going to be a recurring celebrity guest, which is nice.
Oh yeah. Ryan Mercer looks just like Paul Rudd. That's the joke here. Just to.
Let's bring him up here.
I don't see it. I think that's a perception that you guys have of me, but I don't think I view myself as a person that way.
What do you?
Can you do me a favor and bring up a picture of Paul Rudd and put it next to you? Tom, go ahead while he's pulling that up.
Oh.
I'm gonna order one on Amazon real quick, and it'll be there next week.
I was just gonna ask what it was like filming Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It was a challenging feat. I mean, getting that small was tough.
Were you actually got that small? It was method acting?
Yes, I do all my own stunts.
How did you prepare for that role?
He just wrote on the "It's a Small World" ride just 100 times.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Every night I'd practice going into the fetal position just to get used to being small, and then fully extending to see what it would be like to be large again.
I like it. I think that's a good approach.
Can we see what this method looked like?
Just like that.
Nice.
Yep. Okay. That's it.
I feel like that's also very similar to how I act if I wanted to pretend to be a plant. But
Photosynthesis.
every time I open, I say photosynthesis.
Well, I mean, so I'm practicing for Ant-Man. You're practicing for Plant Man. It's a similar concept.
Yeah.
But
The B movie spinoff.
Yeah.
Spoof.
Speaking of superhero movies, can we just agree that the Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds is the best one of them all?
Yeah.
For sure. I think he would agree as well.
What I want to know, like, that's another topic I've thought about is what goes through the minds of like movie producers and stuff when they just release such a shit movie. Like they have to know it's shit, right? Like when they came out with the Emoji Movie, like they had to know that was fucking garbage, right?
They might be like gunning for one of those like Razzies or whatever. Like they don't think they could be good enough to be the best, so they'd rather be bad enough to be the worst.
Well,
I don't think
also like a lot of those movies are still profitable, and that's all they care about is how much money they make, not
was the
necessarily how
Emoji
good
Movie
it
even
is.
profitable though? I
don't
doubt
know.
it.
There's definitely some that aren't, but there's a lot that are still profitable.
like 100%, I see the Emoji Movie on Netflix. Like soon.
For sure.
It's definitely one of those kind of movies that are going to make its way to Netflix.
Are you gonna watch it?
Probably. You're considering that I haven't seen it already. Which
Have you seen it already?
Defer question. No, I haven't seen it yet, but I am interested.
So I don't want to misspeak here. I'm pretty sure this is a movie he was talking about, but Jordan Peele.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he was asked to be the shit emoji, and then he was like, "What?" And once they asked me to do that, I was like, "I'm done." So he just stopped acting.
I don't blame him.
I also read like in like a non-negative sense, I guess. Do you guys watch Arrested Development?
I've seen enough of it
No.
to know probably what you're talking about. Really, Mercer? You haven't? Oh, you probably don't like the way it's shot.
Probably not.
What does that mean?
He's such a stickler for like different like filming styles and stuff. He really doesn't like American Horror Story either, I don't think.
I don't know. If it doesn't look good to me, I can't follow the storyline even. Like I care more about the way
all you think about.
Yeah.
Awesome way to straight up just yawn into the mic. Very professional.
In case you guys were wondering, the Emoji Movie has made so far $217.78 million.
That's
the
gross.
budget?
I can't find that actually.
It's more than me.
Oh wait, it says total lifetime growth domestically. So that's worldwide. So worldwide, profit is 217 million.
Profit is 200 million.
That's what he said.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Wow. Okay.
I might need to see it now.
In that same vein, does anyone want to guess domestic gross adjusted for inflation, which movie is the most grossing of all time?
Avatar.
Nope.
No, isn't it that
Gone
with the Wind?
Gone with the Wind.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind.
I feel like that doesn't count though.
It does. Inflation.
But like it just wasn't nearly as popular as something like Avatar though.
So Avatar's really high in the list worldwide, but that's not adjusted for inflation because you can't like account for the world.
Okay. All right.
But, like worldwide, Avatar is like still like one of the top like two.
Do we think Avatar 2 is going to perform?
No. I don't know.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's going to perform like last time.
I think the impact of the first one was sheerly based on its like how it was like pretty cutting edge in terms of like all of the visuals. I mean, so many movies have been able to accomplish that feat since then that it's not really so
I think they've got like similar stuff that they're trying to accomplish. Like I this as well, but it probably won't be as groundbreaking.
But I don't know because I did the Avatar ride at Disney World, and its 3D was unreal. Like
I heard that ride is fantastic.
it was insane. It was the best ride I've ever been on.
The one where you ride the thing.
When you ride the Banshee.
I should have. We almost did that one, but it was like a 3-hour wait, and it was the last day that we were there, and I was like, nah. We did the boat ride.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't do the boat ride, but like if they're able to make a 3D movie that looks that good the entire time, then it would be revolutionary.
I don't know. I just feel like Avatar came out of it, like kind of heralded in the new era of like IMAX and 3D, and then like ever since that came out, like there's that huge like 3D surge. I remember that period from like 09 through like 14 where everything was in 3D, like even stuff that shouldn't even be.
That's
like
still
Harold,
going on.
like if Harold and Kumar, a Christmas movie, is in 3D, you know it's out of control.
And then you got Shrek going 3D.
Shrek 4D. God dang it. I swear. So I actually had another topic that I just thought of based on what we've been talking about.
You can't just like bring it up to
every time.
Yeah.
What?
You don't have to say like, I have a topic, guys. You can just be like, so blah 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 blah.
So you're talking about Gone with the. Well, I feel like it's like it comes out of nowhere. But like you were talking about Gone with the Wind, I was thinking about how that's an old movie. And do you think people like husband and wife? I know that's like the traditional like family unit, but it doesn't matter. My point is, do you think people back in like the 20s and 50s through the 60s or whatever like had less sex than they do now? Because if you look at like movies and television, like they wouldn't do like compare like if you watch like TV today, like if you put someone from the 50s like and made them watch television, like even cable television today, they'd find it insane. And I wonder, did that echo society and like how they were like sexually like they didn't? I don't know, or just like they wouldn't show it on TV, or I don't know.
I think it's restrictions.
Well, I think people are having more sex now, though. I think especially with like dating apps and stuff, it's much easier to find other people to just hook up with, and it's also not looked as down upon.
Well, yeah.
You think that was the big catalyst? Was like this?
I think that yeah. I think that was a big catalyst. Yes.
Well, I think if you're talking about a couple setting, like just looking at like two partners, I think you can argue that there would have been more sex then because
I
like, there's less to do
with those parameters. Well, and plus like they'd have like farms and shit that you just need to have like more kids because they were workers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
so I guess what I'm
fuck,
asking here.
It's getting hard to plow. Gotta have another one, babe. Let's go.
I gotta plow so they can plow.
Exactly. Plow for plow.
But now you got Phillip Rivers, and he just wants an entire football team. So.
Dude, Antonio Cromartie though.
Oh, him too.
No, but I just I guess my question more is like, so I'm talking about the period like after the Summer of Love, because like in the 20s everyone's still formal, right? It's all like sex is kind of taboo, like you don't talk about it, you wait till you get married. That's like that's what the way I imagine it used to be. But then like post like hippie revolution, they still weren't showing stuff on TV. Like it took them to like the early 90s, mid to late 80s. So I'm just wondering, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I feel like if you look at like the way that like correctness was on the TV back then, like they didn't really show all that much violence either compared to now.
That's true.
That's true. And I guess violence hasn't really gone up. I mean, has it gone up? Has violent crime gone up?
It's gone down over time.
Yeah.
But there's a perception that it's gone up because of the amount of exposure it gets, because news like sensationalizing things like that, and also just the pervasiveness of like connectivity in our society.
I think school shootings have gone up.
Well, actually, I think they're actually going to go down quite a bit in the next couple of months.
Oh, when we arm teachers.
No, when they're on summer break.
Oh,
Whoa.
summer break. I thought you were gonna make a
Direct
Trump
correlation.
reference.
Very good.
Honestly, that's a great joke. Because I was like, oh, is he gonna say something profound on us? And it caught me off guard. I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
ice cream sales and drownings are going to go up too, I think.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very. I think it's interesting that all comes back to like TV of like being a driver of society. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, media, mass media really has an effect on public perception of things and therefore like how things are.
And that
It's really
comes
interesting.
back to perception versus like
Whoa.
You're not your own self.
Yeah. Like has
like-
the world actually changed or has the perception of the world changed?
It's all subjective. It's all based on what you think it is. But
I
remember,
know.
what you think doesn't matter because it's accumulation of what everyone else thinks. So in the grand scheme of things, you mean nothing. You are nothing.
That's
and
for
nothing.
sure. But that kind of like relaxes me sometimes. Like if I ever get stressed out about something, I just think like I'm just like this speck on this rock that's hurtling through space. Like it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you guys speaking of school shootings, what do you guys think about that old argument? I'm not about to get offensive. The first podcast, I'll save that for at least 5 or 6 more in before I get some really hot takes up in here. But my question is, do you buy the whole argument about like how music can cause kids to be violent? Like I remember reading about the whole Columbine thing, and they said like, oh, they were listening to Marilyn Manson and like System of a Down, and they basically, I think they came out and said that was like a myth and like that wasn't true. But like that's like a perception I think people have, is that like violent music or like either whether it's
video
rap
games
music.
too. Like they say the same thing about a lot of different media types. TV, like yeah.
I think everyone's just looking for someone to blame.
Yep.
Some kind of explanation.
Mm-hmm. Because people
Weird,
blame
we're all like
like
the same age, same like preferences. We're white, we're men. Like it's weird that we all
I
have
feel
the
like
same
we're.
opinion on things.
Are we Fox News now?
Fox News' latest branch, baes. Tune in.
The white guy talking about.
There's some sexual talk and a little bit of cursing because we want to see more edgy and more less uptight.
oh gosh.
Oh man. So about 2 weeks ago, my apartment management decided that it was time to clean the parking garage and also repaint the yellow stripes for the parking spaces. And the way that they notified us of this was not an email. It was just one sign in the elevator. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 separate signs in the elevator. One was, we're washing the garage Monday and Tuesday morning. One was, we're repainting the garage Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Instead of putting just one sign that said both things and just said like Monday through Wednesday, don't go in here, they just decided they needed 2 signs. Whatever, fine. So we can't put our cars in the garage from Monday through Wednesday. Sunday night, that it would start Monday at like 6 a.m. So I was like, Sunday night, I got to go park my car. I go out of the garage with my car, and the entire street has cars on every single side. There's cars parked in like definitely not parking spots. There's one right in front of a fire hydrant. There's a separate parking lot where it's only supposed to be 24-hour parking. But I figured like, oh, well, they got to let us park there for a while. I start driving over there. I see a fucking tow truck taking someone out of that garage. Like, I don't know what these people wanted us to do. We're next to like a shopping center where there's a parking lot, but I imagine that the store wouldn't want us to park there. So I just ended up parking like on a curb and just hoping they wouldn't like tow us. Luckily, I didn't get towed. But like, what is going through the apartment management's mind to go into this tiny parking lot? They're not like space 1 through 30. You guys should be out Monday. They're just like, everybody get out of here. This is going to be easier for us. Figure it out. I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about our apartment management because I'm sure we'll have stories of similar screw ups.
It's funny you say that because that sounded like you started talking and I was like, were you at my apartment complex? Because like 2 weeks ago, they do this like once. They've done it like 2 or 3 times where they again, no email, no letter, just like straight in the elevator, and it says we're going to be pressure washing the parking garages. And they're like, it's going to be like there's like a bunch of different floors and there's 2 buildings. So they basically it went on for 2 weeks. It was like
that's crazy.
Every day was like, I mean, it was only for a few hours like each day, but it was like every day was like a different like area of the parking garage. And it was like the day we're doing your floor and then the day we're doing like the floor above you, you should move your car because we are not responsible for any damages or like, I'm just like, so like if you have a 9 to 5 job, it wouldn't matter. But if like you were home for any reason, there's like I'm in the middle of downtown LA. Where am I supposed to park my car? Like literally nowhere. And I'm just like, so I left it there, and there was no damage. I'm just like, that's such a. They're like, oh, by the way, we're starting pressure washing tomorrow.
Yeah,
like, good luck moving your
method
car.
of notification is so ridiculous. They send us a newsletter like every week that I just delete instantly because I don't give a shit about anything that they have to say. Yet for this, which is like important and I want to know about it, they're just like, just put a couple of signs that are super confusing in the elevator. They'll figure it out. Like, I don't get it.
Not to hog the conversation, but I have another issue with my place. Apartment complexes suck. They just
they do for sure.
I've noticed like every month I've been paying my rent, it's been steadily increasing every single month since I've lived here, and like I'm like now it's up to over $1,400 a month.
Oh God. What did it start at?
Like $1,250.
Oh my God.
And
I'm
just like,
do that legally? I thought it's like once a year when you go to renew the lease, they can up.
They haven't increased the base rate, but like they increased both like the they have like a
HOA
separate
fees or whatever bullshit.
Yeah. And like so like I have to pay separate what is it called? Like utilities or like electric or whatever every 2 months. And it's usually like $150 for 2 people, and then every 2 months. It's not bad, but like they charge us for water and they charge us for a trash fee, but it's not dependent on how much you use. So like the person that like leaves the water, like the shower on all day, or like someone that uses their garbage disposal or like the trash services all day, like hundreds and hundreds of bags, it's all the same price. It's based on your square footage of your apartment. And he was like, oh yeah, so they gave us like a note like 6 months ago saying the trash fee is going to increase. But I looked at my old bill, and like when I first moved here, the trash fee was $2. Now it's $45, and the water was $5, and now it's like $50. And I'm like, fuck this place.
That's insane.
It's tough times in LA for that water and trash.
No major complaints with my place. They respond pretty quickly to my maintenance requests. Tom,
you have the best story ever with apartment management, though. But I don't know if you want to get into that.
So time to tell that story.
Oh my gosh, please.
Am I forgetting the story?
Tom, your sex toy.
Did you move out ever?
Well, that wasn't really a part
leave something behind.
That wasn't really a part of management, though. That was just.
Can't you tell me this one? We want to hear the story as soon as possible, and it kind of connected, so we made it happen. Tell us the story.
All right. Here's a story. Sophomore year. For those of you, whoever out there who have been listening, very early on in this podcast.
No one.
Whatever. It's fun for us.
Ryan's mom. If you were listening, Ryan and I met freshman year, and then sophomore year we lived together. So while we were living together, we had some pretty raucous parties in the old Reagan's Hall at FSU. Not that the RA is supposed to know about that. Sorry. And
The RA is specifically listening.
You're gonna call right to this podcast and be like, "Excuse me, Tom. I just was listening to your podcast and I heard."
Oh gosh.
Well, anyway, so at one of these parties, everyone's drinking, everyone's having a good time. I think somehow I got in possession of a hand-me-down bondage set.
A hand-me-down, gross.
Well, apparently, I mean, yeah, like I assume it was tested once if they bought it with the purpose of using it.
We never used it.
You never used it. All right, there you go. So purchased, never used before bondage set, which by the way, never got used by me either.
That's not surprising.
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna go into that right now. Continue.
So the set just laid and collected dust in my closet or something for months after that party was handed over. Might have actually danced around in it like at the party. I think that may have happened.
So it has been used.
Yeah, so it was used in a joking sense. Then no pleasure was found from this.
One of the best uses possible.
I should have just given it to. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna drop names.
Honestly, though, like I'm kind of you say it was an accident, but this is coming from the guy who used to try on his girlfriend's clothes at parties and dance in like her shorts.
I have a video of that.
I don't need that out in the world. Anyway, yeah. So it was packed up. It was in the closet, forgotten about for the remainder of our time staying there, probably. Then it came to move out time. Just going through stuff, throwing things away that we didn't need, packing up things that we're gonna take. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, even though I was the one who made that decision, I grabbed it out of the closet, set it in my dresser drawer, because that's the last place I'm going to check before I leave, and took care of literally everything else. For some reason, I was really behind schedule on the move out, and I actually was like the last person to have the RA come check the room out. Like they thought that everyone had left. They had locked all the doors, like removed my key card ability to even like get back in the building if I wanted to. So I had to go. So I was in a rush. I had everything packed up out of the building. I even checked all those drawers, closed up that last drawer, even though I swear I looked in it, and everything was good, ready for RA inspection. RA comes in. Like, what's the first thing she does? Opens up that dresser drawer. Where does she see? With nothing else around it, just by itself inside of the top drawer, a bondage set.
And you and RNTM have been dating him?
No. And then what do I say? The classic like line that every single person ever uses when they're found with something that is theirs. That's not mine. How did that get there?
Oh my god.
So
is that the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
I'm pretty sure that's like it. Yeah, I can't think of something that's worse than that. And then, so it's like, I don't care what you do, just throw it out.
The only thing about that though is like, I feel like the RA would have thought you were just, like trying to pull a fast one on him. Because like everything else is new to the apartment, and there's just one fucking bondage kit.
Yeah, I mean, like, luckily we handled it like a couple of adults, but like it just really did not feel right.
Where is the bondage kit now?
So it was in the
Where?
Some say it still lives in that dresser drawer to this day.
It's just passed down from person to person.
You know how those dorms get on like move out day, but like the entire trash room was just like inundated with junk that people didn't want to keep. So it sat on the very top of that pile. And like I said, that's probably the first thing that whoever was in charge of cleaning that up got to see, because I was the last person out of there.
Man.
Well, I don't think we're gonna top that for today.
Probably not.
So I think we should just go ahead and call it on the sex toy story.
That sounds good.
Done with it.
Yep.
So thank you all for joining me. This was
This was
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready for Rocket League?
Yeah, we can go play Rocket League right now. Let's do it.
I'm gonna go get dinner and stuff, and yeah.
Sounds good. Well, maybe later
Okay.
tonight.
Okay. All right, guys.
Alrighty.
Well,
Cool.
It was fun.
how do I
Thanks
leave?
for-
Do I just exit out of this? Do I have to do anything special?
Yeah. Just exit out. Thanks
before we
to
go-
whoever might have listened or watched this.
Before we go, what does Austin have to say?
Should we just go through and name every person from college, like first and last name, just so we can like get
Ryan,
out in the
can
open?
you roll some credits at the end of this so that we know?
Yeah. I'll just put our graduating class through the credits.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
I like it. All right. Later, guys.
All right.
See ya.
everybody.
Later.